I wanted you to know what an impact you've made in my life. And by association, I've helped my 3 kids and 14 other friends and family members.
That's amazing. What is the total amount that you've helped students secure?
$386,808.
Oh
That
my gosh.
that includes 43,653 of vocational rehabilitation. So if you remove that, 343, 155 in scholarships, grants, and professional judgments.
Oh my goodness. And now you have 3 children, is that correct?
Yes, a
So
senior in
tell me a
college.
little bit about are they borrowing money for college? What's their situation?
So my oldest is Joseph, and he's the one, as this tends to go with oldest kids, I learned everything with him. And in the very beginning, we knew scholarships were important and we were applying to all the wrong ones. I say we because it was always a joint effort, but he was attracted to the no essay required. And I heard you talk about the same thing. I thought, yes, we also wasted a year doing the wrong things. So we started when he was a senior in high school. He went to community college first and had about 17 college credits that transferred from dual enrollment classes in high school. But he started applying for scholarships when he accidentally wrecked our car and needed to pay us back. And this was a way that for every scholarship that you do well, we'll reduce your debt by $20. So he went through a community college pretty much tuition free because of the scholarships he earned in high school. And using your program showed us how we needed to create the story and grab the attention from the beginning and tell how he's going to use this in college and be an asset to college. So really, from the beginning, after we got rid of those dumb scholarships that were pointless, it started working. So community college fit our budget a lot better and gave him a good start. He went to school in 2020 when everything was weird, but he got his associate's degree and then transferred to out-of-state college, which was expensive, but scholarships made all of the difference. And now that he's a senior in college, he got two overage checks actually for this semester. And we had thought with our little bit of savings and the scholarships that we would make it as long as we could. And senior year, we might have to borrow. We never dreamed that he would get overage checks. So it's absolutely a blessing and a dream come true. He just kind of took it in stride of, oh, this is what you do when you have a mom who watches the scholarship system. Like, I have to do this. It wasn't until he got to his out-of-state public school that he realized not everybody was doing this. So now he keeps giving me like, Mom, can you help this friend? And can you help this one? And they're trying to do it all on their own. And my hat is off to students who are trying to figure it all out on their own. There's so many details that I feel like you've given us a roadmap.
You know, one of the things that I see often are if you can get the first year covered, you're going to get the rest of them covered.
Yes. Yes.
It's really this snowball effect, like you figured it out.
Well, and so many people, myself included, originally thought scholarships are for high school seniors and then you're done. And you taught me that you earned more money in college, and that's been the case for Joseph too. Enormously so. In the last 4 months, he earned $20,000 in private scholarships, not the ones from school.
That's
and
awesome.
Didn't expect that. So definitely keep applying. And
Yes.
if you can get a head start, we just said, maybe senior year we'll have to borrow, but we'll just do everything that we can to try to avoid that. And then it did work out.
Oh my gosh.
So for Joseph, the total of just scholarships and grants is $49,000. And then he's also been the fortunate recipient of $21,000 in vocational rehabilitation for the learning challenge that he has.
And then you have a daughter, is that right?
Yes, I have a daughter who is starting her second year in college, or she's in it right now. And she earned a lot of dual enrollment credit in high school. So this is considered her third year, but it's the second time she's there. And actually, the college that she's going to is a college that I heard you say that there are schools that have private schools that have a lot of money to give. And this is one of them. Any school can say they're generous, but until you get the financial aid award letter, you don't know. Well, she's a good student, and they said right off the bat, here's $35,000 per year for 4 years for having a presidential scholarship that she did not have to apply to. And then in March of her senior year, she changed her direction, and instead of pre-nursing, she was interested in pre-med, and now she's there and loves it. So her first year was actually free too, because of the school's free money and then the scholarship she won as a senior and vocational rehabilitation, also contribution. Her first year, she had an overage check of $3,000, and she was able to use that this summer on a medical mission trip to Costa Rica. Start off, doing the right things to try to get into PA school later on.
That's amazing. I literally have goosebumps. That is so incredible. And so I think you said that the first year cost is $55,000. So she got almost $60,000 between all of the different
all of those different. Exactly.
What would you say the scholarship system did for you guys? How did it help you?
First of all, it inspired me and gave me a roadmap of knowing that this is possible, because your story was so inspiring to me. And you said, this was the only way to go to college. And then I just kept applying. And even after you graduated with no debt and with getting your last overage check on your way home from graduation, that people kept asking you about this, about how to do it. So you gave me the outline, and not just that, but the specifics. If I need to write a professional judgment letter, this is how I do it. And the speakers that you've had through your recordings have been amazing. And I've learned, I would need 2 hours to tell how many things I've learned. So from the very beginning, it gave me the confidence and the realization that it's possible. At the beginning, I didn't know if we would be having free college, but our goal was to either avoid student loans altogether or take out the very least amount. And even that, I learned if we needed to take out loans, where we wanted to start with federal loans and subsidized if we are eligible. Just everything. It gave me a plan to know what to do. I remember learning from you one of the strategies of identifying found money, that when you have a senior and you're trying to reduce the cost, also factor in what are we paying for this year that we won't be paying for next year, and try to pay as we go.
Absolutely.
Just so many strategies. And we didn't even probably do everything, but it made a world of difference. And I just can't stop telling people about it. Not bragging, just saying, look, you're overwhelmed. I know what you can do. It's possible.
I love it. What would you recommend? What would you say to a family that's on the fence of using this? Is there anything that you'd tell them?
Don't think about it for a second. Absolutely do it, because you don't even know what you don't know. And even if this isn't your first child going to college, the way things are done right now are different, and it is possible. So learn from experts like you and the scholarship system. That made all the difference. And probably starting with knowing that the biggest chunk of money can come from the school. So when you're choosing what school to go to, be very wise about that. And you don't have to try to figure it out blindly. You teach people all of that. But that's what made the difference from my daughter's first year being free. It was even cheap. I mean, obviously free is cheaper, but cheaper than community college. She was thinking, I'll go here just to get my general eds out of the way and save money. This was free's way better than that. So I would say learn from experts, believe that it can happen. And I've learned a lot from your essay reviews, a lot, because you go through and say, you know what a winning essay looks like. We even submitted an essay before and you gave feedback on it. That was really invaluable. And I also remember you saying, whatever point you're in, it's not too late to start something. And even if you've already taken out loans, maybe you can get ahead for the next year, or maybe you can stop. Or I've known people who have taken out loans for cost of living too, and thought, no, wait a minute, let's really evaluate what you need. So even if people have taken out loans, there are still strategies that they can learn to stop the damage.
Man, and I mean, truly, you've got to think what you've done with your children. There are people right now freaking out about these student loans that are coming in, the payments that are due. I've had multiple calls with family members even that didn't listen to me back in the day. And now they're like, oh, I have to pay on these. What do I do? And it's way higher than they thought. And so, I mean, your students have freedom, and it's just, you set them up for the rest of their life. It's going to make a difference.
Using your strategies really, really did make a difference. And in the long run, even when my daughter's rolling her eyes saying, please stop, she did have a buy-in eventually and won quite a bit. And that made all the difference when we were working together as a team, but we just have to kind of keep plugging at it. Thank you so much for all of your teachings, all of your commitment. It truly changed our lives.